Welcome to Diplomatic Passport here on Zim Papers Television Network on this, the final day of the week, as of course the weekend is upon us. My name is Robert Mkondiwa. Of course, this is your daily weekday COVID-19 show that gives you updates with regards what's happening in our world, of course in the region, and definitely here in Zimbabwe as we try to keep responding to this pandemic that has gotten us into what we now know as the new normal. Of course, as always, we will start by giving you the statistics as availed to us by the Ministry of Health and Childcare, which has provided statistics of where we stand as a country, as Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe now has 7,752 confirmed cases of COVID-19, including 227 deaths and 6,043 recoveries, which puts the national recovery rate at 78%. Now, 721 PCR tests were conducted in the last 24 hours, and of those, 27 new cases were recorded. And these are 26 local transmission cases and one returnee from Germany. Harare is still that epicenter with 3,249 cases of COVID-19, followed by Bulawayo, which now has 421 cases of COVID-19. Of course, those figures show us that we continue to actively be in that local transmission phase with only just one returnee from Germany, of course, testing positive. We are below the 1,000 tests a day threshold, or just around 700 as we hover there. Of course, the belief amongst us, which we've always been harping on about from the beginning, is that we need to continue three things without fail, and that is testing, testing, testing. Now, we had very interesting conversations here on Diplomatic Passport over the past fortnight with one of our correspondents, Takuzwa Chiambakwe, who's always on the ground prying into the issues that you want us to pry into to get the answers for you. Now, one of the key issues that he was personally warm about are issues around education. Now, there's these phased reopenings of schools with people and pupils expected to just go in and start writing their examinations. And I was asking him whether that is feasible, given the fact that most of our children stepped into the classroom actively at the end of March. Now, to have them shepherded to the classes and some of them expected to just write their examinations, we thought that was rather unfair, but of course that's what the government has resolved. They argue that a lot of these children were of course studying online and they can just get into the thick of things and walk into the exam room theater. Now, we sent Takuzwa Chiambakwe out there to find out whether this was all true, and we saw that there are people who we are leaving behind, and it's those who are differently abled, those who are disabled, those who are physically challenged, because we seem to craft our ideas, our laws around the fact that we only consider who we are and our abilities and capabilities, and we forget that there's a crucial demographic in our country that really needs help, and that is not like us and would not have had the same access to the modernities that we have, for example, online learning. Now, in this report that he went to compile, we see a story of one such young man, and he is a pupil at St. Giles. Let us hear his story and let us reflect at what he has to go through.
For at least 463 million children whose schools closed due to COVID-19, there was no such thing as remote learning. These are the words of UNICEF Executive Director Henrietta Fore. According to UNICEF, a third of learners worldwide have missed out on remote learning. 8-year-old Nathaniel Mutseka, who is visually impaired, is among this disadvantaged third. Nathaniel has not been able to reap the full benefits of remote learning system set up by government. He shares this predicament with his fellow learners at St. Giles Special School in Harare.
So let me write my name. Sometimes phone yacho unengo story na inoenda online kuti uone weke mwana. Zvakutoda kuti uchikumbira sometimes wotomirira pamwe pamba penyu pane munhu wani ndiye ane foni inokwanisa kuita izvozvo apa une vana kana vaviri vari kuda kuitiswa wese wese zvinhu zvanga zvakatiomera izvozvo.
Pupils like Nathaniel require specially trained teachers, while other pupils are learning from home with the help of parents or guardians. Nathaniel is struggling.
I press N, I press I press E.
His mother does not have the requisite special skill to assist him learn from home.
Vana wedu havagoni kuita wetu vari wega, vanotoda mubatsiri. Saka isusu sevabereki kazhinji kacho zvimwe hatizvizivi, hatizvikwanisi. L-I-K-E, like.
One of Nathaniel's teachers, Trust Mutekwa, reckons parents of children with special needs should be equipped with the requisite skills to assist their children in case of such situations.
We would need the parents to work with their children in reading and writing Braille, but it was difficult because some of the parents were not able to read Braille.
Mutekwa has taken it upon himself to assist parents like Nathaniel's mother.
I advised a way of working with them through producing learning material in Braille at school. I would, of course, prepare the work on my computer at home, then go to school to print with the machine. It's called the embosser, to emboss the work. Then I would take the work to collection points in town so that the families would go there and collect the Braille work, and it works.
With school set to open next week for examination classes, Nathaniel, who is not writing examinations this year, will remain at home, trying his best to keep up with his counterparts. He hopes that government and its various partners will come up with inclusive remote learning systems.
In these times, we are working on an all-hands-on-deck approach, where it's not just government which is going to be trying to focus on imparting knowledge and learning and teaching during the lockdown times, but we also appeal to parents and guardians to also be of assistance to those learners who may need assistance during for them to ensure that learning continues when they're not in the physical school.
Well, there you have it. Something to reflect upon as we get into the weekend, and if that does not tug on your heartstrings, certainly nothing will. We have children like young Nate there, Nathaniel, who has had to be left behind because he does not have the assistance that he needs. Of course, the upside to that story perhaps is the fact that he's not in an examination class, but certainly there are many like him who are in examination classes who we have really just let down and left behind because we have forgotten that not everybody in this world is like you and I. And please keep those comments coming as we, of course, look forward to yet another week next week. This is all on Diplomatic Passport, and that feedback should keep coming to me on my Twitter handle at Zimrobbie, that's ZIMROBBIE, or my email address, robinkwadiwa@gmail.com. From me at ZTN, and of course the entire team, have a great weekend, and please keep people who are different from you in your mind whenever you do whatever you do, because this world is for everybody, both you and I. Have a great weekend.